So friends, all of you, CMAT examination is round the corner. कल examination है आप सबका 25th of January and I'm hopeful that सबने properly admit cards download कर लिए होंगे, center की location locate कर ली होगी. You don't want to be any hassles in the uh 1 hour or 2 hour before your actual examination. So
Absolutely.
friends, we have conducted this session just to say all the very best to all of you and to discuss some of the very important things that you must take care in the next 24 hours, right?
So I generally, Gaurav sir, I actually like to run people through a checklist. So you already mentioned those things. So typically my standard go-to is that I carry a transparent folder, that 10-20 rupee folder. So I typically have my admit card, my photo ID proof in it. I would also ensure that I'm carrying some cash in different denominations, 10 rupee, 20 rupee, 50 rupee, 100 rupees, because most of these centers you need to essentially keep your stuff out. And this year around, when I went to write the XAT exam, they ended up charging me 50 rupees, which felt like a loot. Normally it's 20. So change, etc. Those things should not really be a hassle. So carry all those things along. Prepare them today. And as Gaurav sir has rightly said, yeah, please know where your center is. Make sure that you have a plan to reach there and you know how long it takes. Then add some buffer and be there bright and early. So absolutely.
बिल्कुल. So basically जो एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर के बाहर हम इधर उधर भाग रहे होते हैं, you will have to avoid all those things. तो विक्रांत सर ने जो फोल्डर में चेकलिस्ट आपको दी है, make sure that you have all those things.
An extra
So admit
photograph
card,
too.
राइट, एडमिट कार्ड पे अगर फोटोग्राफ लगानी है, उसके लिए आपको कोई भी लाइक फेविक्विक चाहिए, फेविकॉल चाहिए, तो वो आपके पास होनी चाहिए, पहले से ही चिपका के जाना चाहिए वैसे तो आपको. देन यू मस्ट कैरी अ पेन, राइट, सम कैश विद यू इन, लाइक सर ने बोला डिफरेंट डिनोमिनेशंस में. अगर कैश नहीं होगा तो इधर उधर भागते रहोगे. समटाइम्स दे डोंट एक्सेप्ट यूपीआई पेमेंट्स. वो जो बाहर एक छोटा सा लॉकर या सो कॉल्ड लॉकर बना के रखते हैं, तो ये सब चीजें आपको देखनी चाहिए. ऑलराइट.
I
And
saw this. So there was this one guy who at my center this time around who wanted to pay through UPI, but his phone was also there. So the guy
right.
was asking for the money first so that he could hand over the stuff. It's like, phone de to main pay karu. So yeah, so cash is still good.
ये सब चीजों से बचना है. ठीक है. नाउ अब आज ऑलरेडी 24th of January हो गई है. ठीक है. तो आपने हमने कल रात को एक सेशन लाइव टेलीकास्ट किया था. आई होप दैट उस सेशन को अटेंड करने के बाद आपने कोई भी और सेशन नहीं देखा है. एंड आज का दिन आपको बिल्कुल कूल एंड काम कंपोज तरीके से स्पेंड करना है. कुछ भी स्टडीज नहीं करनी है. थोड़े बहुत फॉर्मूला रिवाइज कर सकते हो. एंड विक्रांत सर, मेरे को आपसे एक चीज पूछनी है. लाइक वर्बल सेक्शन है, वर्बल सेक्शन में 20 क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. तो स्टूडेंट्स को लाइक टू मेक श्योर दैट दे आर एबल टू अटेम्प्ट दीज क्वेश्चंस विद अ प्रॉपर एफिशिएंसी. लाइक 20 में से हर कोई चाहता है कि 18 तो सही हो जाए. तो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम टुडे कल तक क्या करना चाहिए बच्चों को?
नहीं, कल तक कुछ खास नहीं यार. सी बेसिकली आई नॉर्मली recommend that when it comes to areas which are skill based, it is always good to practice them, because when you stop practicing you start rusting a bit. But then when we talk about an exam like CMAT, reading comprehension is a skill based area, but you don't get very many questions from it. Last year we had only 2 questions from it, and the remaining are essentially vocabulary questions and grammar questions, which are by and large knowledge based, along with that some parajumbles. Yes, so I think it is more about making sure that you go through all the questions, starting from less time consuming to more time consuming in the CMAT exam. So typically I start with vocabulary questions because they normally would not take long. I mean, synonym antonym questions would probably take 20 seconds a piece. Idioms, fill in the blank questions may take 30-40 seconds. So whether you know those questions or not, whether you are able to answer those successfully or not is a different story, but you've at least gone through those and you know where you stand. After that, I typically move over to grammar and then to either reading comprehension or parajumbles. The difficulty level usually remains moderate, and thankfully the exam is such that you won't even have that time pressure. So you've
Absolutely.
plenty of time for all the questions. You don't even really need to rush. But these questions that do not end up taking a lot of time, once you've gone through those, you know exactly where you stand. So, and on top of that, I think you need to follow that round-based strategy throughout the exam. So that's going to be very, very, very important. Make sure that you've seen all the questions before you start investing some serious amount of time on any of those questions.
So just say like sir has mentioned the round-based strategy. So I'll quickly explain you what he's trying to say. So round one, go through all the questions. Just select only those questions which you can attempt right now, and then leave behind all the questions which are probably lengthy or which like the logic you are unable to click the logic. And ये चीज रीजनिंग में बहुत होती है. So रीजनिंग में if you
Absolutely.
are going through the questions of sequence and series, so series based questions, coding decoding based questions, input output sequences based questions, तो क्वेश्चन को रीड करके like 30 seconds 45 seconds sometime it happens that वो जो लॉजिक होता है ना वो क्लिक नहीं करता हमारे माइंड में. ओके, बिकॉज इन क्वेश्चंस के लिए कोई सेट स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं है, कोई पर्टिकुलर लॉजिक्स नहीं है. Okay, so what you have to do is just spend 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maximum 1 minute. And अगर logic click होता है, then go ahead. But if let's say up till 1 minute, you are unable to understand the questions, you are unable to get the answer, leave that question. And आपके पास टाइम बहुत ज्यादा है, 180 मिनट्स है आपके पास, टाइम बहुत ज्यादा है, तो आप पूरा का पूरा पेपर 100 क्वेश्चंस भी इजीली अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो if you want to do that. ओके, सो फर्स्ट राउंड में सारे इजी क्वेश्चंस करो, शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस करो, वापस सेकंड राउंड में आओ, लेफ्ट ओवर क्वेश्चंस को देखो एंड जस्ट कीप अटेम्प्टिंग पेपर लाइक दिस.
Just to add to it, a lot of students also ask about, sir, which section to attempt first, which section to attempt later. So my philosophy is I don't start with the section that I am uncomfortable with. I don't end with the section that I am uncomfortable with. So start with something that you're good at, end with something that you're reasonably good at. The challenging sections should be put in between. And essentially just pace yourself. Okay, read a question and then decide. I know how to answer it. I can answer it definitely in under a minute. Attempt it. If you think it is going to take longer, mark it as a second round or a third round question. Or if it is a question that you're going to be totally clueless about, you're like, I don't even know what it is, then at least cross it out so that you won't have to waste time on that later.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. If you do that, you will definitely be able to perform to the best of your abilities. And we have taken through a lot of sessions. Those sessions contain a lot of relevant questions. I am sure each one of those things is going to help you immensely as you move forward.
Absolutely. Like sir has mentioned, we have taken sessions on reasoning. So we have discussed previous year questions, and you must have understood the level of difficulty through those questions.
Oh, that reminds me of one more thing. Within reasoning, you also have these verbal reasoning questions. Okay,
Right.
so compared to sequence, series, etc., when you look at those statement assumption questions, statement conclusion questions, they are usually less time consuming for people. So maybe you can prioritize verbal reasoning before you switch over to the non-verbal part.
So in reasoning, you can give like first priority to those verbal reasoning questions. Like sir ne bola कि वो कम time लेते हैं, because if you get
although
stuck
I think
on the question,
I'd say some people may take equal amount of time on direction, calendars, etc. But on an average, I think.
Yes, sir. But like rightly said by you, वो जो series के questions होते हैं या फिर coding decoding के questions होते हैं, वहां पे student अटक सकता है. So keep a tab on the timer. Timer को देखते रहो. कभी कभी हमें पता भी नहीं चलता. You don't even realize कि वो जो 1 minute आपको spend करना था वो कब 4 or 5 minutes में convert हो जाता है. So be aware for those 3 hours in the examination. Okay.
I typically institute hard stops in such exams. I typically say that, okay, if 90 seconds are over and I'm still not close to solving it, I'll move on.
Right. I call this thing a threshold. तो threshold time होना चाहिए verbal के लिए, quant के लिए, and GK के questions में तो as such कोई threshold time होता नहीं है.
10 seconds
आंसर आता है, 10 seconds में आंसर कर देंगे, right? But you all have a threshold for every type of question कि maximum time कितना spend करना है before you move out from that question. ओके, सो प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर्स के क्वेश्चंस हमने डिस्कस किए हैं. विनीत सर ने क्वांट के क्वेश्चंस आपको कराए हैं, एंड आई नो दैट इनोवेशन एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, दिस इज वन सेक्शन जिससे हमें सबको डर लगता है, बट विनीत सर हैज डन फेयरली गुड इन दोस सेशंस. आपको सब कुछ बताया गया है, सो मेक श्योर दैट व्हाटएवर विनीत सर हैज टॉट यू इन दोस सेशंस, implement those things, implement those strategies while attempting this section of innovation and entrepreneurship.
वैसे भी देखिए, गौरव सर ने the moment he said इससे सबको डर लगता है, it means that it is a section that you no longer need to worry about. See, if an area troubles everybody, in a competitive exam, it is not your concern. It's only those areas that others are good at and you are not. Those are the ones that you should worry about. इधर सभी को नहीं आता तो फिर चलेगा, फिर सब same level पे ही है. So nobody is getting that competitive advantage. So yeah.
Right, right. And one more thing I would say, sir, from my side, last thing, कि negative marking भी है examination में, +4 you are going to get for a correct answer, but -1 for negative as well. तो वो जो like flukes होते हैं, fine, logical flukes वगैरह, so ध्यान दे के मारना, flukes अगर करने हैं, so it should be a logical fluke. Fine, you are eliminating 2 options or maybe 1 option out of 4 options, and then you are marking or whatever options you will get. Okay, so 2 options eliminate कर सकते हो, 3 options eliminate कर सकते हो. तो play with elimination. Don't just randomly mark the answer, attracting towards negative marking.
High confidence guesses are fine, I guess. If you have left with 2 and you were leaning towards 1, then yes, maybe yes.
Right, right.
So
All right.
Just to quickly reiterate, make sure that you have everything that you need to carry with you for the exam. We've already talked about it. We have once again touched upon the order in which you should attempt and the fact that you need to use round-based strategy, and that there are areas like there are some areas, some sections where nobody is comfortable, so you don't really need to worry about those areas. And I am sure you are going to do amazingly well tomorrow. Just go there, be yourself, and all the best.
All the very best to all of you.
And the rest of our colleagues could not join us today. They are taking some other sessions. So on their behalf, too, loads and loads of wishes to you. And once you're done with the exam, do let us know how it went, and we'd go ahead and spend time discussing it with you too.
And we are meeting them in analysis as well. So after the examination, we'll be present in analysis. So you can join us on like during the analysis and share your point of view about like the paper that you have attempted.
So in fact, when we go live, it becomes important for the students to tune in, because we also partly rely on them to give us their take. So that'll be a huge help for us if you tune in.
Yes. Right. So all the very best, all of you.
All right. Have a great day ahead and a great exam tomorrow. Take care. See you after the exam.